So, who was Ralph Nelson Elliott? He was someone who made all these studies without the internet, without a computer. So it was genius. But okay, he was something that was ill and he couldn't actually move. So all this time in the bed, he spent analyzing the markets. And that's where he made this wave principle. And it's a book that he's talking about how market prices are not random or predictable. Alright? It is not random and unpredictable. They actually follow predictable natural laws that can be measured, and you can actually forecast this using Fibonacci. And I know a lot of us use the Fibonacci retracement, but actually in my experience no one ever told me about what exactly it is. Okay, sure, the price goes up and then it comes down before continuing up, but why does it happen? I wanted to know it. So when I read this book, I found out about this other book, and then I bought it already. And that book talks about Fibonacci. So Elliott is someone who got inspired by Leonardo da Pisa, who is the guy who invented the numbers from 0 to 9, and also invented the Fibonacci sequence. And he told something about how everything in nature actually is born, how the stuff grow up. It always goes in this spiral-like movement. Now, what does this have to do with charts, for example? We're going to talk about that in a minute, but this is what Elliott said, the secret of the universe. The secret of the universe is his major work that talked about how the human behaviors work in a collective way. This means that everything we see in the charts, this is one of the first books you can see in this book, and it says something that the market has its law, just as it is true of other things throughout the universe. This means that everything has something that makes the matter works. Okay, in this case we are talking about waves, movements. This has a rhythm, it's regular, it's measured, and it has harmonious movement. And I know some people use these harmonic patterns. It's because it's making these patterns that Elliott described in a perfect Fibonacci ratio. So this law behind the market can only be discovered when you view it in a proper light. That means that you have to zoom out, you have to use the correct time frame so you can see the different shapes that you can find in the market. And only then you can actually see them. If you are too close, you're not going to see what happens. If you are really out of it, you're not going to see it. And it has something to do with our perception. It has something to do about how our psychology works. It has to do how our brain perceives. And this is why I actually love this, because wave principle is psychology. And I'm studying psychology. So the stock market is a creation of man and therefore reflects human idiosyncrasy. And this word means the accumulation of all the feelings, the emotions, call it fear or greed, everything that happens in a human's mind that goes into action is what is reflected in the graphics. The wave principle is a phenomenon that has always functioned in every human activity. And this is actually something wonderful because you can apply this not only to the charts but also into our behaviors. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Let's just focus now for what is this actually, right? What is the wave principle? It is the ability to see behavioral patterns in any financial market, and this is what I love about it. Any time frame. Most of you have seen how I've been testing this in charts of 1 minute, and you can see how it works. And let me say something that is actually honesty. If it doesn't work, it's not because of the principle, it's because of the analyst, and we cannot be 100% correct. Okay, we are going to make mistakes. We are not going to see the things straight because we have something called how do I say this? Subjectivity, right? Sometimes you think this is convenient for me, and the market doesn't care if you like it. if you like it or not. So you have to deal with this. And this, exactly this feeling, is what makes you see different things that actually the chart is doing. But the wave principle helps us anticipate the next movement, according to the law of nature. And this is what other people know as golden ratio, Phi, 618, or Fibonacci. So how do I apply this into the charts? Well, according to the wave principle, the market always moves in progressive waves. And progressive wave means that something is always going forward. But nothing in the market moves straight. Everything in the market has an impulsive wave. It doesn't really go up forever. So I know a lot of us do, like, for example, a breakout, and we buy here. And that's a mistake. We have to wait the retracement, the corrective wave to finish into a key level, for example the 618, and when this is done, usually in 3 movements down, in counter trend movements, then that's when the next wave is happening. All right, that's the new impulsive wave we want to trade. We don't want to trade the breakout, it's really risky, but we can find a retracement to get a lot of amount of profit here. Usually the wave tree is the longest, so we don't want to actually find the bottom and pick this one. It's not worth it, because this keep going down. It happened to me a lot, and I know some of the people here also happened to them before, that you want to take the top, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up. We have to wait for a clear breakout down, a corrective wave, and then that's the one we trade. All right, so how does it actually work? Because a lot of people talk about degrees, all right, like Elliott wave is about counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that it has bigger degrees, cycle degrees, super cycle degrees. And sure, if I have to translate it into something simple, you can see shapes inside shapes. And multiple shapes, when you zoom out, you see bigger shapes. And that is what he called degrees. It is just like size. And each pattern is different in time, force, and forms.